the tumor and doing away with surgery. We see a convergence between the medical profession and technology, and there will be more of it in the years ahead. Nobody has any idea what is going to happen in the future. Who knows what the world will be like 30 years from now? And you will be working at that age. Yet education must prepare the youth for such a world. The children will see a future, we will not. The purpose of education is not just to gather knowledge, but also develop people to deal with the world and develop in people an ability to think, imagine, innovate, and create. You should be able to develop people. You should be able to apply your learning and your future learnings in the situations you will experience in the years ahead, and so succeed in life. One of the problems of the present generation is the ability to give prolonged attention. Today's social media wrongly teaches us to be superficial in our attention. You must give a chunk of time to achieve anything of depth. Initially, the problems and solutions are known. Later, you come across problems to which you don't know the solution, but you can ask others for solutions to known problems. Finally, you not only don't know what the problem is, forget knowing what the solution is. We work in such ambiguity and need to be prepared for it. Multiple studies link music studies to academic achievement. Serious music training seems to correlate with success in other fields. To quote the late Steve Jobs, whom the youth would recognize because they use many Apple products, and I quote, "Innovation would require a blend of technology and liberal arts, and education systems should encourage such pollination rather than focus on narrow specialization. Innovation requires creativity." And I unquote this. Innovation requires creativity. Our heritage instills such creativity. A rag is sung differently by different artists and by the same artist differently at different times. There is freedom within certain boundary constraints. Arts brings elements of abstraction and critical thinking which science subjects alone do not do. So what is it that will help you cope with the world in future? To my mind, it is our heritage that has been around for thousands of years. It is meditative, which will also help the youth to concentrate and improve in their studies. In yoga, you concentrate as you inhale and exhale. In Nad Yoga, you concentrate on the note as you sing, and when it is different to the correct note, you have to concentrate to get the correct note. In dance, you concentrate to get the right posture. A musician requires enormous focus, attention, and practice. If you take this ability to concentrate to your studies and whatever work you do, you will be more productive and will be able to study in much less time. It is not surprising that many eminent people, incidentally, were musicians. Our former president, Dr. Abdul Kalam, a missile scientist, played the veena. Dr. Rabanna, famous for the first atomic implosion in India, played the piano. The great mathematician Srinivas Ramanujan had a classical music background. Einstein, who predicted gravity waves 100 years ago, which we have only now verified, would have been a violinist if he was not a physicist. Professor Manjul Bhargav, professor of mathematics at Princeton University and winner of the Fields Medal in Mathematics, an equivalent to the Nobel Prize, has said there is something about classical music that made one more creative, even in other endeavors. He believes including classical music in the school curriculum, the country would produce not just better artists, but better scientists, judges, innovators, and in general, better human beings. He is himself a tabla player. I'm tempted to share with you my recent experience. Just yesterday, our IIT Kharagpur alumni we have a regular Friday meeting on Zoom, and yesterday the speaker was a colleague, contemporary of ours, who's written a book on Dr. Asad Madni. You could Google his name, Dr. Asad Madni. Dr. Madni is currently distinguished adjunct professor and distinguished scientist at UCLA. He is an active engineer, inventor. He has 69 patents, academic, business leader, and philanthropist. His work covers outer space, aircraft, naval vessels, automobiles, medical equipment, and more. He is formally recognized as among the very great living engineers today. He has been honored with the IEEE Medal of Honor, the Elmer Sperry Award, and the John Fritz Medal, all arguably engineering equivalents of the Nobel Prize. Salutations came from royalty too, when in 2022 he received the Prince Philip Medal of Honor from Her Royal Highness Princess Anne. And in May 2024, he was inducted to the National Inventors Hall of Fame. He's famous for the Hubble telescope, which takes photographs. So the Hubble telescope, as you know, moves around the Earth. It's moving, there's a velocity, and yet it is able to take pictures in outer space, still photographed, and obviously at slow speed and things like that. Now, why he was the topic of discussion yesterday is because one of our contemporaries, Korean Joseph, who was an IIT Kharagpur alumni, was a classmate of Asad Madni in school. And Asad Madni was known as an artist at that time in school. And the surprising thing was, how could an artist become such a distinguished engineer? Even in automotive, many of the gyroscopes and things like that are really his brainchild. And he was the CEO of a company that made it and did that. Now, his answer to that was that because he was an artist, that he could think out of the box and come up with these engineering solutions. So the Western world focused on the outer domain and developed products like laptops, mobile phones, whereas we in India focused on the inner domain reflected in our heritage. Our culture is our Indian identity. For no fault of theirs, our own youth are not aware of our culture. With the breakdown of the joint families, the generational trickle down of culture is now missing. Parents are unable to take their children to Indian cultural performances because of their long office hours or the academic pressures on the children. I estimate 95% of our youth are not exposed to our heritage. Many will have the SPIC MACAY experience for the first time, and like many others, crave for more through their respective SPIC MACAY heritage clubs. What SPIC MACAY has been doing for the past 47 years in broadening education by taking the best artists in the country, Padma awardees, SNA awardees, to schools and colleges all over the country. This is what makes SPIC MACAY relevant to you, the young generation. SPIC MACAY would develop leadership qualities in students who organize our conventions and teach you team working, things that are not taught in textbooks. This is done in a spirit of Nishkam Seva. You give. There is joy in giving. There have been programs in many colleges, and some of you would have experienced this. The more good performers there are, the more the audiences grow and the arts flourish. If some art forms are allowed to perish, it will be impossible to revive the diversity and richness of yesteryears. Great discoveries of our inner selves made by our ancestors and reflected through Drupad, Kudiyattam, Rudravina, Sarangi, Kutuvadyam today are on the verge of extinction. It is our youth of today who will make the audiences of tomorrow and help our culture to flourish. We encourage the crafts, which is the second largest provider of employment after agriculture. Students get a chance to learn from great master craftspersons in the intensive workshops that we organize. During SPIC MACAY conventions, youth from all parts of the country congregate, experience, share, interact, and discuss with eminent exponents. The artists who are from all parts of the country, north, south, east, west, and the northeast. This is national integration. You get to see and experience this. As more facts are gathered, knowledge expands. New facts can render old facts and knowledge as invalid. At one time, we thought the world is flat. We now know the world is round. The SPIC MACAY logo represents that inner eye, the eye of perception and inquiry, ever alert in the pursuit of that eternal truth, the eternal Satya. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and guiding words about our heritage, arts, and culture. With this, we'll invite our next speaker for today. I'd like to invite Mrs. Usha Ravichandran ma'am. Srimati Usha ma'am has held significant positions as a national vice chairperson of SPIC MACAY. Ma'am also handles the activities regarding the ministries, finance, grants, and other day-to-day activities as a passionate volunteer and a very senior coordinator of SPIC MACAY. So, ma'am will be speaking about the various modules and activities. So, yeah, we welcome you.
One and all, very good morning to you. I welcome you all to this orientation. Arun sir has touched upon various aspects of SPIC MACAY, giving you a glimpse of what we are doing and why we are doing. So our founder, Dr. Kiran Seth, who founded SPIC MACAY in the year 1977, and we are 47 years old today. What does he have to say? He says, India's core competence has traditionally been its extensive experimentation of the inner domain. Science, technology, sports, and other areas that are outward in nature have been the forte, largely speaking, of the Western world. While we must and are already making big attempts to catch up in these areas, it would not be wise to neglect what our ancestors have handed down to us as a result of centuries of experimentation. Today, the government, media, industry, parents, teachers, students, and people in general are giving a lot of importance to subjects such as engineering, medicine, business administration, and mass communication. On the other hand, very little importance is being given to our philosophy, our languages, our classical and folk arts, our crafts, and theater. As a consequence, the ability of the society to recognize the subtle, the abstract, the inspiring, and the mystical is going down with each passing day. Such words of wisdom. It is this philosophy, it is this thought that we, with the help of our modules, thought of, created over years of experimentation, are using to reach out to our youth today. These modules consist of dances, all 8 dances of India, music, vocal and instrumental, folk dances of all over India, folk arts, and a rich tapestry of Indian crafts, which is spread over the length and breadth of the country. For this, as activities that we offer to you are Virasats, single day program followed by Virasats. Virasats can be 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, and sometimes the institutions are so overwhelmed with our initiatives that they have 20-day long Virasats also. What do? We give you one, in single day program, we offer you one classical dance, classical music, folk. But in 3 days, we have one dance, one folk, one classical dance, one music, one folk. And 7-day long, apart, along with all these 3, we also give you intensive workshop experience with the legendary gurus and awardee crafts gurus to go through their experience, their life, their simplicity, etc. Similarly, a 2-week-long Virasat could consist of 2 dances, 2 music programs, 2 folks, 1 cinema classic, 1 heritage walk, 1 talk, and so many such things. When you actually take up SPIC MACAY activities after this orientation, and you will experience the mystique in this. Apart from that, we have a very, very noble initiative called Gurukul Anubhav Scholarship Scheme. This does not give you any money as scholarship, but this gives you a month-long experience with each guru who's going to teach you an art form, and be with them for 1 month in one place and return back totally transformed and enriched. That happens during the summer vacation time when you can afford your time and spend in this extraordinary experience. The last but not the least, we have international convention. This international convention happens for 7 days in one institution. Could be any IIT, could be any IIM, NIT, IIITs, whoever is able to offer us the requisite infrastructure to accommodate around 1,500 to 2,000 delegates coming from all over India and abroad to stay there in an ashram-like environment without the mobile phones and take an inward experience. One day in an international convention goes like this. You get up in the morning at 3:45. From 4 to 7, we have Nadi Yoga and Hatha Yoga. For 7 to 7:30, we have Shramdan, where we leave the institution cleaner than what they gave us. We believe in that. Then 7:30 to 9 is our personal time when we have our bath, we get ready, we have our breakfast. Then we go to our classrooms where the intensive workshops being held by legendary gurus in Bharatanatyam, in vocal music, in instrumental music, in folk, name it and it is there. And also the crafts. We have as many as 50 intensive workshops to cover every activity. Then we break for lunch from 12 to 12:45. Then from 1 to 3, we have cinema classic. 3 to 5, we may have a theater or a folk art form of that city. And then we break again from 5 to 5:45 for a holistic early dinner. And from 6 to 9:30, we showcase some 2 legendary artists performing for you in music, dance, and complete your day with such a beautiful mystical experience. Thereafter, we break and to get up next day in the morning. And we have one more initiative. All the intensive workshop delegates showcase their learning in 5 days to everyone, which is a very, very heartening to see that one can learn in 5 days so much. It becomes quite unbelievable, but you have to see it to experience that. And then another important initiative we take is on the penultimate day from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., we have 5 performances by very, very legendary artists who are the doyens in their field to elevate you with their performances. And we get up next morning to go for our heritage tour of that city. And thus comes the International Convention of 7 days to an end where you have no time. You are busy back to back, one program after the other. So in case you want to experience, we have the international convention, coming international convention at IIT Hyderabad. We will be announcing that. You can take advantage of that and register yourself and see as to what this entire experience is for 7 days for yourself. With that, I request you all to kindly join the movement, give your support, take our activities and help us to promote the art and culture everywhere. Help us, the artists all over India, and take this movement to such a height which never ever has happened earlier. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Usha ma'am. So thank you for giving us such an inspiring information about SPIC MACAY modules. Now we'll request our next speaker for today, Shri Aditya Rangan, to introduce the concepts of heritage clubs in institutions. Aditya Rangan did his BTech from NIT Trichy and presently pursuing his PhD from IIT Madras. Aditya has been solely responsible for starting SPIC MACAY chapter in NIT Trichy and also is a performing artist of Carnatic music as well as a passionate volunteer for the movement. Yeah, Aditya, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Abhya. Able to hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. So good morning to everyone. So I'll be speaking very shortly on the Heritage Club. So now we heard Arun Sahai sir speak about the various aspects or philosophical aspects of Speak Mackay. Why Speak Mackay? Why should we as youth get educated in Indian arts or get exposed to Indian arts and heritage? And then we heard Usha ma'am speak about various modules of Speak Mackay, as in what all activities can happen in your institution and what all can be a part of your institution's programs, Speak Mackay programs. It can be concerts, it can be workshops, it can be movie screenings, it can be heritage walks, so on and so forth. But now comes the aspect where how do you get Speak Mackay into your institution? So the for that is what the Heritage Club is. So Heritage Club or the Speak Mackay Heritage Club is basically like any other club in your campus. For example, if you have a dance club, you conduct the dance club is in charge of conducting dance activities. If there are a lot, I mean, there are a lot of technical clubs as well. One can be for coding, one can be for mechanics, one can be for robotics, and so on. Similarly, the SPIC Heritage Club in any campus is responsible for conducting SPIC activities inside that campus. So what are the objectives? It's listed here in the PPT. You can take a read through it. But to summarize it, the Heritage Club is responsible for exposing the whole campus to our culture through Speak Mackay. So as everybody know, I mean, as was introduced, Speak Mackay's full form is Society for the Promotion of Indian Classical Music and Culture amongst Youth. So it's quite self-explanatory. In all colleges and schools, we have a lot of our youth, and the Speak Mackay's intention is to promote and make students interested or make students aware about classical music, classical dance, classical theater, and then folk art forms, craft art forms, all of it. Anything that is Indian can be introduced to students through the Speak Mackay Heritage Club. So beyond that, I mean, say you have a very large institution and you have a lot of capacity to hold activities around your institution. So then the Heritage Club of that institution can act as a node point and try to conduct activities in and around that area. Uh, for example, there might be an underprivileged school near your campus, like say it's 10 kilometers within your campus. So if you are going to host an artist in your campus for that evening, you can try to host that artist in that school in the morning. So in that case, those students who really don't get a chance to see such artists in close quarters get to see these things and get inspired. So then the objectives are listed as I told. So you try to expose the whole college community. You try to enrich the community by giving them an exposure to Indian culture. You try to coordinate activities in the neighboring cities and with the central body of Speak Mackay and with the state body with whom you'll automatically have to coordinate to conduct activities, to invite artists and so on, to act as a nodal point for periphery, I mean schools in periphery which are not exactly capable enough to conduct programs on their own, and it to also to coordinate activities in sync with the core values of Speak. I'll quote an example of this in some time. So now what is the structure of the Heritage Club? So the basic structure, this is not written in stone. This is not, I mean, this is not a very constant thing. Every college has its own structure and every college has its own requirements. This is a structure we give as an advisory, and you need not follow this exactly. You can follow what your campus generally promotes. So generally what we request is two faculty advisors, a program coordinator, a program joint coordinators, which are probably from the final year students, and then activity coordinators and activity joint coordinators who can be from the pre-final year, and then members from the campus nominated by the dean or the administration. So I'll explain why all these people are required. So the faculty advisors. So all of us as students, we are there in the campus for a specific amount of time, say 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. After that, we leave. And we try our best to ensure that our juniors take over and then their juniors take over. But this is a very difficult task. You can ensure that your juniors take over, but you cannot ensure that your juniors take over. So that is where the faculty advisors play the most important role of continuity. You students will be doing most of the activities, most of the coordination, but when there is a problem or when the students are leaving and coming, faculty advisors can ensure that the values and then the logistics and then the contacts within the administration, or even for example the contact of a mic person, all such things the faculty advisors can pass on continuously from batch to batch. This is very important. Then we have, as I told, lot of student coordinators. This can be in various terms. For example, if your campus has a system of a president, secretary, treasurer, you can have it in that way as well. You can call it whatever you want. It does not matter. But our request is that you have, I mean, when the leaders of the club should be from both the final year and the pre-final year, because only if the pre-final years are involved, will they be able to take over and lead the whole thing when you pass out. So that's very important. And then the last thing are members from the campus or from the administration nominated. This is because, see, as students, we'll only be able to do limited things. Like we might be able to ensure that the artist has a comfortable stay, the artist has a good program, the audience comes and so on. But there might be multiple things where your administration needs to pitch in and given a lot of input. This can be financial, this can be with regards to logistics and so on. So it's very important that you have somebody nominated directly so that you have a very clear touch with the admin and there is no scope for much confusion. So then you can also ensure a lot of help from your admin comes in, and the values of your institutes are also followed. So this is the basic structure of the SPIC MACAY Heritage Club. I'll try to now shortly tell of how SPIC MACAY started and now is at NIT Trichy, because most of the institutions here are mostly reviving or restarting or starting for the first time from scratch, the Heritage Club. So I joined NIT in 2016, and in 2017, a senior of mine and a batchmate of mine and me, the three of us got together, and actually, to be very technical, SPIC MACAY in NIT had been existing for a very long time. There are actually senior volunteers in the movement who had been a part of SPIC MACAY in 1980s. So, but then what had happened? It got lost in time. So when we came, we had a sort of a revival. So there was one faculty advisor, Dr. Dhanalakshmi, who, like I told you, the importance of a faculty advisor comes in. So she was the faculty advisor of SPIC MACAY many years ago. But then we got to know that she was involved. Therefore, we went and met her. She had contacts within the state chapter, and then she got us in touch with them, provided us a lot of help. And then in 2017, mid 2017, we started doing inductions or orientation, whatever you would like to call it, for volunteers. So we used to go to every class during breaks, tell students what SPIC MACAY is, ask them to join, hold at least twice a week. We used to book a hall, wait if somebody used to come, talk to them, get them into the movement. It was a very difficult task. I won't deny that at all. And so that was a whole semester from July to December 2017. We had a whole lot of things that were going on with respect to building something called Heritage Club inside the campus. And in 2017, me and my friend came to Chennai. Professor Kiran said the founder of SPIC MACAY was here in Chennai, so we met him. He gave us a lot of inputs. And then in 2018, in January, the first activity of SPIC MACAY, which was a Kathak concert, happened in NIT. So now, say we started like trying to build our club in 2017 mid, and by 2018 we had a functional club of 10 members. So then there is a photo, there is the photo that is in the center top where you see a set of artists and a lot of students. That was a year from then. By the time that was 2018 June. So by that 1 year, we had quite a big, I mean, in relative terms, we started as 3, but we were up to 25, 26 members and so on and so forth. Now it has been 6, 7 years of continuous heritage club activities in NIT. That's a very difficult task because I myself am in touch with the faculty advisor and I've not seen my juniors, but they are now like the girl who's in charge of the Heritage Club now is 7, 8 years junior to me. So I've not seen her at all. But I am in touch with her to ensure that the activities in campus are not lost. So one of the most important things is that how do you ensure continuity? So that is something all of you have to be very passionate about. And I'm sure there are many people in all the colleges that have come today who are very, very interested in classical arts or even folk arts for that matter. So if you're interested in anything that is Indian, my request is please join the Heritage Club. Please try to build the movement. Please start doing multiple activities. So there are multiple photos in this slide. The bottom center photo and the bottom right corner photo of is of a lecture demonstration of Gopika Verma, Mohiniyattam artist. This was in 2019 June. And then there is this very interesting photo in the bottom left corner where you see a group of school students enjoying something. So that was actually the first time when we got an activity done outside our campus. So Gopika Verma had come and she's a Mohiniyattam artist. So when she came on a morning of the day of the program, on that morning we took her to a nearby government aided school and we had something called a SPIC MACAY workshop demonstration. And I mean, it was magic. Of course, in the campus, when the program happens and 1,500 people are sitting in front of the artist, that's a different kind of experience. But to be very honest, the more interesting or the more what do I say, more happier, the experience that gives you a lot more of satisfaction is when you conduct such programs in places where students have never seen any such thing. So the artist came around 9 a.m. and the program started around 10 and it ended around 11:30, 12. At 12 o'clock, nobody wanted to leave. The students were sitting, the artists didn't want to leave, the teachers didn't want to stop. It was such an experience. So, I mean, I can keep talking, but it's really something that you have to bring SPIC MACAY artists to your campus to experience what really we as SPIC MACAY volunteers experience and why we continue. Like I have continued as a volunteer now 5 years after graduation. Same with Sabya, same with so many other young volunteers in the movement. The last thing about the Heritage Club is the weekly meeting. Why weekly meetings? Because just as I told you, today you are interested, you join SPIC MACAY. But how do you ensure that others know SPIC MACAY is taking place in your campus? That is where the weekly meeting comes in. And the idea is on a constant time, on a constant day of the week, say 4 p.m. on Saturday, below this tree, even that is a good enough venue, or in this classroom, or in this hall, or near this juice shop, wherever inside campus, SPIC MACAY meeting will take place. So whoever is interested on any week can come join the movement. That is how you grow the movement and more people come in. And it has been experimented for 47 years now and it works the best. We can give that kind of an assurance definitely. So please do weekly meetings, or if not weekly, at least fortnightly, some kind of a regular frequency meeting where people know that on this day of the month or this day of the week, SPIC MACAY meeting will be happening. And if I'm interested, I can go there and join the movement. And that is how more and more dedicated people come and join as part of the movement. And the movement keeps growing inside the campus and in your city. And once you pass out and move out, if you stay in that city, you will try to expand the movement within other colleges in the city. If you move out to another place, you join the SPIC MACAY chapter of that city and try to help things there. So as SPIC MACAY volunteers, it's kind of a lifelong thing, which will be the next topic, which Karan Nanda sir will be talking about volunteerism. So I would like to stop here. And if there are any questions about the heritage clubs, we'll deal it in the question and answer session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aditya. So we'll invite our next speaker for the day, Shri Karan Nanda, to share his views on volunteerism and Nishkam Seva. Karan sir, welcome. So I'll introduce you. Karan sir is a dairy technologist and has a passion for theater as well as SPIC MACAY. Sir has worked in the NDDB, the National Dairy Development Board, as a product development, and also with Mother Dairy in QC, outsourcing, logistics, commercial. We welcome you to share your views, sir, on volunteerism and Nishkam Seva.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sabya, and very good morning to all of you. This beautiful Saturday morning. I think by this time, you've come to know a little bit about what SPIC MACAY is about, what we are doing, and like Aditya also pointed out, a bit about volunteerism, how you can help, what you can do. Now, this movement is, spread all across the country, all the states, and it goes beyond the borders of our country also. And it's a movement, such a huge movement. How one wonders, how does it sustain itself? How does it run? So the backbone of this is obviously, the volunteers, all the volunteers who are there, giving their time, effort, and energy, and trying to, make sure that our heritage, our cultural heritage, which is our very identity as an Indian. This needs to be preserved because it's been with us for thousands of years. And like earlier, Arunji had very specifically mentioned that some of the art forms are, going extinct. Now we've heard of animals and, other beings getting extinct, but our culture, can we allow that to happen? It's a question which you must answer for yourself, because this heritage is not just mine and, SPIC MACAY's. It's absolutely your heritage, which you've inherited, belongs to you. You need to preserve it and pass it on to the youth and to the future. We cannot afford to let it die out. And this was the passion behind which the volunteers of SPIC MACAY joined in, and have been here. Now we have with us, Arunji is here, Usha ji, Dinesh ji, Sabya, Aditya. Volunteers who have been here with us for a very long time, for ages. And believe me, once, you get into SPIC MACAY as a volunteer, you recognize the fact that this, I'm not doing it for a cause or anything. I'm doing it for myself. It is my heritage. Then you will realize that yes, the kind of pleasure, the kind of, satisfaction it gives you to see that we keep preserving this movement. So the second question comes, now as a volunteer, we told you all this is available. So as a volunteer, what can I do? How can I help? How can I be useful to this, great movement? So I'll run you through to a few quite briefly about what all you can help out in. Before that, I'll tell you, I'll just explain, we are a very informal organization. In fact, actually, when I joined in years back, it was like, I thought I was entering an organization. But over the years, I find, it's not an organization anymore. It's like a family. Like we say, we are senior volunteers. Senior is only in terms of the number of years being here. Otherwise, if you joined yesterday, and so there's no difference. What I do, what you can do, we don't have distinctions. And it is a very informal organization. You all are very busy. You have your own curriculum, your own work, on your own activities to do. So you decide how much time you can give to the organization, how much effort, energy you can put in. So there's no hard and fast rule. So that gives you the flexibility and the chance not to say no, because I'm sure everybody can spend a little bit of time, give it to this great movement, because it's going to, this heritage is going to your children. So what can we do? Now, the entire programs, what we call as lecture demonstrations or virasats, they are organized, managed by the volunteers. So as a volunteer, you can be part of the organizing committee, manage the whole show, manage the artists. And the artists, like, they are some of the greatest artists, not only in India, but they are revered throughout the world. To rub shoulders with them, I mean, the moment you do that, you will understand, the difference between a materialistic experience and a spiritual one, because that will be something which you will never, ever forget. So you will be coordinating with the artist, being with them, helping them out, ease into the program. Then when you have the programs, you obviously have to publicize them, take them out and let people know, because like I said, this is an organization with needs. It's not just our organization. So we have a wonderful publicity team, which is, very professionally managed. So you can be part of the team. If you have that knack, you can be part and help out in the team, or simply get in to learn from the team. When Corona stepped in, we didn't step out. We immediately caught on to the online format, and a technical team was formed, and they carried out all the programs. Today also we are online. So if some of you are technically inclined, you're welcome to join the technical team, help out or learn, like I said. Finances. Now we do not, when people attend our program, there are no charges, there are no tickets, because this is an experience we are giving. It's not a show, it's an experience. So when you go to an experience like ours, we need, of course, finances, money to organize the program, to the hardware, the logistics. So all that needs money. So for that we have a team, a financial team, a team which can organize funds, go to various, institutions, or figure out how to, let people chip in. I mean, if they can't give their time, effort, and energy, maybe they can just donate some money and help us, keep our artists alive. So you can join the financial team, or we have, your like the Heritage Club. And so the first thing you should do is, probably if you already have a club, join the club, or set up a club and see you can get members to join in. The very basic thing you can do is simply, today you come here, you learned a lot. You can talk about this, a movement, to friends and family, and just gather their support, or just make them aware that such an organization exists, and if they are so inclined, they're most welcome to come in and join out and help. The other thing is, when we hold the programs, so just simply walk into some of the program. Maybe there's a program being held near your institution. Walk in there, go in there, meet the volunteers, meet the artists, see how the things have been arranged, how the things have been organized, and feel your way around. So you don't have to decide immediately. Come in and see what is available, where you can help, and then figure out for yourself that, yes, this is the area where I'll be able to make a difference and contribute. And so it's very simple. Like I said, we are a family. Come in, walk in, join in, and we are there to help you. The volunteers who we already have our experiences. Anything you need, any kind of help, we are there, a phone call away. Or if you are nearby, we can come and visit your institution, help you out, setting up your club, setting up your meetings, or even, helping out in the programs. So wherever you need help. And after this, we are through, please do ask us some questions. I'm sure there must be some things coming to your mind where you would be able to, where would you need some help. Express your views, your doubts, or simply you can express what you felt about all this and how do you feel about this whole thing. Because like when I walked in years back, I also walked in just and figure out, what was happening, and figure out my way out, how I could be of help. And today I am here after all these years in no mood to get out, because like I said, we are a family. So please come in, join us, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your really inspiring words about volunteering with SPIC MACAY. So I think now we have moved towards the conclusion of our orientation. So we will be taking question and answers. So any questions, feel free to ask. I think one question is regarding in structure of Heritage Club, we want to clarify as regards members from campus to be nominated. So can I answer that? So I think you can have the students to come forward and also nominate themselves. We can have an election process just like other clubs of the college, and then they can be nominated as part of the heritage club as members. And of course, Dean sir can also recommend from his side. So I'll request Dinesh sir to take the questions. Okay, there is one more question. We wanted to know whether Gurukul Anubhav scholarship scheme is applicable to students only. Can faculty also avail?
No, it is
Sir?
only
Okay.
for students.
Yeah, and also currently it is we have not yet floated for this year, so we will inform you or keep you updated once the Gurukul scheme is opened up for the next year. Any other questions?
Yeah, the next question that I can see in the box is, can we perform Punjabi folk dance too in your events, or what will be the procedure to organize the event in our institution? So we have certain folks which we have included in our regular list. We usually keep it on the classical form and the folk forms also surrounding that. So far we have not included Punjabi folk. So whichever activity you want to take, please go by the selections made by SPIC MACAY. That will be the ethos of SPIC MACAY basically. Yeah. No, the Heritage Club need not be registered anywhere. It is for facilitating your activities, your involvement, your getting connected with the rich Indian heritage and culture and also of the world. So this has to be there. And then the purpose of this is that Heritage Club gives permanence to the SPIC MACAY body in your institution. If one goes, the next body takes over. If that goes, next body takes over. But we have permanently, we have 2 faculty members who are there to guide the newcomers and help the existing ones. I hope that is clear. There's no registration for that.
I just want to add one point here. The reason there is no registration needed because you are an educational institution and you have already got your club activities. You know that that takes care of all the regulations or whatever is required because this club will operate under the regulations and overall guidelines of the institution. So it is not an entity which is outside your institution. That should be remembered. And therefore, it does not require any other registration.
Yeah, thank you, Dinesh sir. There is another question from Prachi Tony. She says, is there a limitation to number of members in the Heritage Club? Is there any eligibility criteria for selecting the members? See, we have to have 10-member core group who will hold the designations, the post decided by your own institution. And then you can have other 30 ordinary members and go on adding as many people as you can. And the only criteria is that they should be interested in Indian heritage, classical, folk, etc., which is the basic criteria. There is no other criteria. It's your passion, your desire to be associated with us.
Okay, so I think there is another question. Yeah, thanks, ma'am, for answering that. Yeah, I think it is not like there is no specific criteria. Those who are really willing to give some of their time and volunteer for the cause can come forward. So next question is, after the organizing program, do we have to submit reports? So definitely you can submit the reports to your SPIC MACAY coordinator who is in touch and also to us. So definitely that will be really nice to serve as our documentation.
Yes, right, correct.
Okay, so next question, what is the minimum prerequisite for campus venue for the event? So I think as we explained, there are various areas of organizing a program. So you'll have to look into the finance, hospitality, sound, stage, venue. So of course, these will depend on the type of art form, the specific artist. But yes, definitely we can share with you the stage requirements and all. There is a detailed SOP document for conducting programs. So we can give you the SOP document. You can have a very detailed look into the specifics of each of these areas, including stage, sound, hospitality, food, etc.
And also adding here, Sabya, I would like to say that your Audi can be one place, your atrium can be one place, because sometimes you don't have Audi, then what do? You do it in A. Then you have, if there are hostels, the hostel messes are the places where you have some space. For example, for reaching out to the rural area, we have workshop demonstrations and we carry out in the schools, in the corridors. There is nothing. The children sit on the corridor and the artist performs. So it depends on what is available with you, but you can do it very beautifully. Dinesh sir, you would like to say something?
No, I think you have covered everything.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
So if there are no other questions, I think one last
No,
question
no,
was-
no, no, no. One sec. Sabya, they want to know as to how SPIC MACAY will help in fundraising for the event. SPIC MACAY is an NGO. We have no money. See, as you know that we have no tickets for any programs. Even your international convention of 7 days in a place only requires you to buy your own to and fro ticket. That's it. And you have no other expenses. Everything is taken care by SPIC MACAY. How we ourselves raise funds to fund these events. Therefore, you will have to explore as to who can fund you for these events. Your first person who can help you is your banker. You can make a proposal for the event and say that we are going to have this. Very inspiring, sir. If you could, this is our expected expenditure on the entire thing. If you could give us this much, we'll be very happy. Sometimes they give the entire money, or sometimes they say, okay, we'll fund 75%, 25% you put. So like this, you can go to all the other private corporate sector asking for money under their CSR funds. So these are some of the ways that you can raise funds. SPIC MACAY per se doesn't have any money. Thank you so much. Yes, Sabya,
Okay,
you go ahead with some question you had.
No, I think we can like move to next. If any other questions are there, we can take. So there is one question regarding the students' performance video. So one thing is like just wanted to add that in SPIC MACAY, we are trying to, our objective is to expose the students and give them an exposure to the great maestros and legendary artists and learn and be inspired. So the objective is to have students experience and learn from gurus, right? So you need not share the students performance videos, right? But you'll have to invite artists who are empaneled with SPIC MACAY. I mean, there is a list of artists who are empaneled. You can check with your local coordinator and then finalize an artist and invite them.
Your students,
Hmm.
yeah, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Your students performing is your internal performance. But when it comes to SPIC MACAY, you have to take the empaneled artist that the chapter coordinator of that particular state or the particular place will help you with. You have to give your requirement there, what art form you want and when do you want and what time is the performance. Based on all these things, the artist will be fixed for you. And answering another question, there is no fee for formation of Heritage Club. Let us tell you that SPIC MACAY does not believe in any transaction in anything. Absolutely. We would like to make it very clear. Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay. So next question is, does the institute have? Yeah,
I
yeah.
just
Yeah, Dinesh sir, come on.
Yes.
like any other club in your institution would be having some budget which would be getting allocated by your institution. That you should always seek some part of that allocation which can be contributed towards the SPIC MACAY Heritage Club activities. Like just to give an example, all the central institutions have been guided and directed by the Ministry of Higher Education that they should allocate funds of, for example, 10 lakhs. 10 lakh rupees are allocated for the SPIC MACAY heritage activities, but that fund comes from the institution. SPIC MACAY does not contribute to anything. So the same model you can also follow. Seek some budget, minimum budget you must definitely seek from your own institution that can become your kind of a seed amount. And then you go and raise more funds because that will never be enough. That is the idea. Thank
Moving
you.
ahead with another question that has come up. Does the institute have to provide remuneration to the gurus and artists? No, that is not the responsibility of the institution. We would be asking for a small request for contribution for an event. Out of that will come to the SPIC MACAY kitty in our bank. We'll provide the details, and out of that, we will give the remunerations to the artists and their accompanying artists, etc., and other expenses. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I think we have answered all the questions. So yeah, thanks Dinesh sir for emphasizing that definitely when you form this as an official club, you would have to allocate a certain budget to seed as a seed fund.
Not only that, when they create a club, they get the empowerment to talk to the management and to help them for organizing the activities. That is the power of having the Heritage Club.
Definitely. Yep. Absolutely. And also to ensure the continuity by the students once they pass out. So next question is how to be in connect with the main body. So, and get to know about all the events. So I think one aspect is when you form the Heritage Club in your institution, you can also be in touch with your local chapter coordinators of SPIC MACAY, and they will keep you updated with all the events. And you can also to volunteer. We are a voluntary movement, and to volunteer in SPIC MACAY, any of the initiatives, you can also be in touch with us. So our contact numbers are provided, and we can give you in the chat box. If you need any further information and guidance, you can also reach out, right?
We are around 16,000 volunteers all over India. We do not take a penny from SPIC MACAY. Rather, we offer all our services free of cost.
Okay, so with that, I think we can.
Sabya, just hang on for a minute. I think that Dr. Sancheti might like to say something. He just opened his video.
Yeah. Welcome, sir.
You're unmute, please. Unmute yourself, Dr.
Yes.
Sabya, you unmute him.
Yes.
So, namaskar sabko. Good afternoon now. No, I didn't want to say anything right now. I just wanted to witness the program and see the proceedings. So I just attended it in that sense. Thank you very much anyway, and my best wishes to all the participants and everyone. Thank you.
It is our duty to introduce you, sir. And
please, it's not required, madam.
Sandeep Sancheti sir has been the Vice Chancellor of many universities, and right now he is working on a project, sir. If you could say it yourself, it will be nice. And he is volunteering to help us. Okay, sir, tell us about you, sir, now. Unmute him, Sabya.
Yeah, I think sir is co-host. I've made yeah, sir, you can.
No, he is muted. He's muted.
No, I
I
think
can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Back
yeah, yeah.
again. Back
Yes,
again.
yeah.
So, friends, I'm Professor Sandeep Sancheti, a career academic in the sense that I've spent 41 years in the academic world and been vice chancellor of around 11 institutions, 8 of them government and 3 of them private. I'm associated with the SPIC MACAY movement almost for now 25 years, and I'm very keenly looking forward to contribute to it through various channels, through your efforts, through our efforts, and through roping in new institutions, more volunteers, and more set of activities, and also formalizing some of them. So keep contributing from your side and do let us know if there are any challenges. We'll be in a position to overcome that through our efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Back
sir.
to you,
Thank you
Sabya.
very much.
Sabya, back to you.
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So I think we we have answered each and every question. If further questions are there, you can reach out to us on the numbers mentioned. So with this, I'd like to now invite Shri Dinesh Chand sir to present a vote of thanks for
Sabya,
yes.
our publicity expert Sumanji is here. Would you want her to say a few words?
No, she doesn't want to. She put it in the group that I am not well. So she's not well. She's in the bed. She'll not be able to speak. Next time
Oh,
we
okay.
will ask her.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but without opening her video, she can.
Suman ma'am, would you like to share a few words?
Hello, Suman.
Namaste,
Yeah, she's
everyone. Yeah, I'm Suman from Delhi, and I got fractured last month, so unfortunately, I am not so active these days. But I'm very happy to see all my senior team, like Sancheti sir, Usha madam, and Dinesh sir, Karanji, and of course the driving force, young volunteer, our Aditya and Sabyasachi, both. I'm very happy. And the lot young students I can see, but I request everyone to join hands. And if you have any problem, you have numbers, make your heritage clubs, take regular meetings, start fundraising, and start working on publicity also. If you have any problem in any of the point, I request Sabya to share my number if they want any help, any kind. So that's it. All the best. Dhanyawad.
Suman, Arun sir is also here.
Arun sir, Arun sir, namaste. I can't see. I'm sorry.
Yes. Nice to see you,
Thank
Suman.
you. Thank you, Suman. Thank you for your nice, kind words.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So
I'll just say a word.
sure,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Sir.
Please.
See, Sumanji is in bed, but that's the kind of volunteers we are. You know, once you, like I said, you get into SPIC MACAY, it's gonna.
Yeah. Your heart is always there.
Yeah.
Always. You know, I'm
So
at the
that's why I'm
bed.
saying. That's why I'm saying to all of you, come on, we come into the fold.
I'm coming back very soon with everyone's
Yeah.
wishes. And
Yeah, all the best. All the
yeah.
best.
Thank you,
Thank
Usha
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
So also to add, Suman ma'am also handles the media
Yeah.
area of SPIC
I
MACAY. So
handle the media.
anyone wants to seek support or any guidance, you
I'll
can.
train your teams also if you can join. Okay.
Thank you. So I think it was a wonderful session, and thanks to all our speakers today for sharing your wonderful words. So with this, I'd like to request Shri Dinesh Chand sir to present a vote of thanks on behalf of SPIC MACAY. So Dinesh sir, please share. Thank you. And Dinesh sir, to introduce Dinesh sir is the convener of the higher education vertical of SPIC MACAY and has been associated with us for a very long time, having done his engineering from IIT Kharagpur, and then went on to pursue higher studies abroad and served in the private sector in various senior capacities. So, Dinesh sir.
At the outset, I can say that it's heartening to see almost 75 people participated. Besides, there were 3 colleges, I think, who participated in the classroom manner. So therefore, I think we probably reached to almost 100 plus people. Although
There were
about
83, Dinesh sir, 83 to begin.
Okay, so 100 plus people we must have reached. Though we have reached out to 27 institutions only, but it is good that our movement is spreading and people are sparing time for it. Only one point I just want to add, whenever you do your weekly meeting, don't get disheartened if only 2 people turn up, because I have experienced that. Okay, so do continue your meeting on time on the day or week or 2 weeks when you perform, when you plan, but do create those meetings for your own heritage club. And at the end, I would like to say thank you all for joining this orientation. If any one of you or any of your colleagues who have not attended this orientation, though it is visible on the YouTube, Sabyasachi would be uploading it, but you're welcome to come back to us for the next orientation when we come back. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Dinesh sir. And we are really happy to get the opportunity to interact with you and look forward to be in touch over the next couple of years and period of time to
Looking
engage.
forward to a long association with them.
Yes, yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.